Hi, everybody, and good afternoon. Welcome to Opera 101 with Cleveland Opera Theater. My name is Stephanie Ruozzo, and I'm an Education and Outreach Associate with Cleveland Opera Theater. Happy to talk to you today on Opera 101, which is our Monday, Tuesday, Thursday kind of informational series where we delve into some new fun thing about opera. And we want you to delve too. So please, if you have any questions at any time, just drop them in the comment box. Or if you'd like to have some more extended discussion or you'd like me to get you some information that you might be looking for, please feel free to email me at sruozzo@clevelandoperatheater.org. And I'm going to get you any information you want that way. That's SRUOZZO at clevelandoperatheater.org. So let's talk. And today, because there are just too many Rossini operas to give each the time that it really deserves during Rossini month, we are taking the week to celebrate some of Rossini's minor masterpieces, some things that didn't enter into the canon the way that, Barber of Seville or Cenerentola would have. So, today we're going to cover one of the Rossini opera seria, so the serious operas, called Semiramide from 1823. So Rossini's life in 1823 was kind of in a bit of upheaval. Romanticism as we know it was taking hold in Italy. And Rossini was frustrated because he wanted to focus on elegance, beauty, kind of more classical formal aesthetics rather than these broader explorations of the unwieldy and monolithic sublime of the romantic that we might associate with some later composers like Verdi. And Rossini, because of these changes towards the Romantic era, was coming to the end of what we call his Neapolitan period, during which he had gained international fame, both in England and France. And both of those nations were even competing to have him live there and start creating operas in those countries. And at this point, he had written 34 operas. Many were internationally famous, and he was only 31 years old. So he's got a lot to his credit at this point. By the time of the Semiramide premiere, which was written for Venice during the carnival season, so he's not quite in Naples anymore, he's starting to branch out. Semiramide premiered in Venice during carnival season. It Rossini's wife, Isabella Colbran, who was the soprano that originated the title role. And he often, around this time, was composing vehicles for her as a singer. So she sang. There was one of them that was written to showcase her talents. So what is this story all about, in case you don't know? So it's a libretto by Gaetano Rossi and based on Voltaire. So we might associate Voltaire with more comedy, but no, this is actually a really heavy, serious, almost tragedy. Yeah, tragedy. I'm going to say tragedy. And Rossi was so close to the Rossinis that he lived in their house and collaborated with Rossini on a daily basis. It was a constant, fluid back and forth between a composer and librettist. So the opera starts with Semiramide, Queen of Assyria or Babylon. You'll see it both ways. It's the same territory. So Semiramide, Queen of Assyria, is about to choose her new king, her successor, and Assur, her former paramour, and Idreno are both hoping to be chosen as her successor. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, this military commander, Arsace, arrives just in time for the rituals that are going to be part of this new coronation. Semiramide wants to marry Arsace and make him her king. But Arsace secretly loves Atsema. It's a whole triangle. There are triangles upon triangles in this opera, so I'm going to keep it as simple as I can. But Semiramide loves Arsace. Arsace loves Atsema. So after some tumult and scheming and blackmailing, the audience learns that Assur and Semiramide actually plotted to kill Semiramide's first husband, Nino, together. and that Semiramide had promised Assur the throne if he helped accomplish that murder. The high priest reveals that Semiramide's husband knew of the plot and prepared to protect their son by sending him away and telling Semiramide that the son had been killed. Surprise, Arsace is the son. And now, once the high priest reveals the truth, Arsace must decide whether to avenge his father by killing Semiramide or not. So he's deciding whether to kill his mother. He cannot bring himself to do it, but the gods demand a sacrifice. So in the end, Arsace tries to assassinate Assur as the sacrifice, but ends up stabbing and killing Semiramide. So the Assyrian gods then have their justice, and Arsace can rule the kingdom in peace. It's kind of a bittersweet ending. So, what was special about this opera? Why might we want to talk about it today? What might make it have a legacy for us? Well, it was Rossini's last opera seria. And what I mean by that was not his last serious opera, but his last opera in a specifically Italian genre. So Dean mentioned yesterday with Il Viaggio a Reims, it was Rossini's last opera in the Italian language. But Semiramide was Rossini's last opera in the Italian opera seria idiom, the same genre. So Il Viaggio a Reims, even though it was in Italian, was French grand opera. And Semiramide holds the distinction of being that final Italian bit, distinctively Italian composition of his. And though we know mostly his comic stuff now, he was actually recognized as a brilliant, serious dramatist in his own time. We might think of him more for the farce, that we see in Barber of Seville when he's setting Beaumarchais, but he was actually his reputation contemporaneously with his operas was more about being a serious tragedian. And Semiramide is interesting for its emphasis on arias and small ensembles, so duets, trios, for most of the opera's runtime, with only a few choral moments at beginning and end. You rarely see the chorus on stage during Semiramide. It's all about the intricate and intimate interplay between the principals. Semiramide was not well received at first, and it was so discouraging to Rossini that it convinced him to leave Italy altogether for Paris. So Venice had a much more conservative music scene than Rossini was used to in Naples, and Semiramide was too long, too complicated. My own personal theory, and this is really just my theory, so take it for what it's worth, but it's really easy to hear the distinctive Rossini style, the crescendos and stringendos, the transparent orchestration, and all of that lightness, the brilliance, and I mean brilliance in the literal sense of clarity, incisiveness, all of that as light and fluffy, especially when we hear it a lot, as those original audiences would have. And so we can misinterpret or even miss entirely the drama that's going on. And Semiramide revolves around that drama. So if audiences are inclined to hear Rossini as more of that light composer, lacking the depth that, say, Verdi or Wagner would have had, then yeah, it's easy to misinterpret Semiramide and feel it's more campy than dramatic. So eventually there was this gradual disappearance of Semiramide from the repertoire by the end of the 19th century. But around 1962, we see Dame Joan Sutherland singing the title role, and she was the one who really kicked off its resurgence in the 60s through today. And in the past few decades, Marilyn Horne has done important work as Arsace, bringing the opera back into the mainstream. So we have these big performers, huge names that are still very current in the opera world today. looming over these young singers that are rising through the ranks, being the ones to define Semiramide and bring it to us. So I want to thank you so much for joining us today for our little overview of Semiramide. And please do follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've got content there for you to enjoy, all different kinds of content, some fun, some serious. Any information you need, just check out our website, clevelandoperatheater.org, and you will be able to catch details of our continuing Barber of Seville opera series. It's going to be 5 full episodes. Episode number 1 last Saturday was a huge success. I really, really hope you check out episodes, well, all of them really, because they're going to live on YouTube. But I really, really hope you join us for episode 2 soon. Details at clevelandoperatheater.org. And please do join us tomorrow for our Maestro's Corner. And I'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Bye.